The information provided in Divorce Talk is for educational and informational purposes only and solely as a self-help tool for your own use. We are not attorneys, accountants, or financial advisors. The information provided in Divorce Talk is not intended to be a substitute for legal, financial, or counseling advice that can be provided by your own attorney, financial advisor, or therapist. Always seek financial, legal, or counseling advice relating to your circumstances for any questions and concerns. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Divorce Talk. I'm your host, Jessica King. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm a mom, a co-parent, a certified Washington State family mediator, a nationally certified professional mediator, a certified divorce coach, and divorce recovery transition coach. My goal is to share with you tips, ideas, and knowledge that I've learned from my own co-parenting experience, clients, my educational and professional training. Again, I want to welcome you to Divorce Talk. Our topic for this episode is tips for talking to kids about divorce and the key messages they need to hear. And this is one of the hardest conversations that you will have. So I want to help you prepare so you feel less stressful having this conversation with your children. No one said divorce was easy. In fact, it's one of the hardest things a family can go through. When kids are involved, it becomes even more complicated. No matter their age, kids will be affected by the split in some way. So it's crucial for divorcing parents to approach things cautiously and with their best interests in heart. So it's time to tell the kids about the divorce, and you want to do it right. So what are some things you can do when talking to them? Well, one is speak openly and share age-appropriate information about what's happening with your kids. You know your kids best. There's a difference between what you're going to tell a toddler, a middle schooler, and a high schooler. So be prepared to share in a way that reflects their maturity and ability to understand what's going on. Number two, don't try to hide anything from them or pretend everything is okay. If it doesn't work with other things trying to hide stuff from kids, and we know kids catch on to everything, it's certainly not going to work in the divorce process. They'll see right through that, which will only make things harder for you and for them. That doesn't mean that they have to know all of the nitty-gritty details, but there are basic things that they will be able to know, and don't hide those from them. Be honest with them about what to expect. If you know that one of you is going to be moving in a short period of time, be honest with them about that. If you know that you guys are going to be living right next to each other and they'll be able to see each other regularly, be honest. If one of you's already decided to move a little ways away, don't hide that either. Honesty is the best policy when talking to your kids about divorce. The final thing is encourage your kids to ask questions about divorce. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Let them know you're there to talk to them about anything they're curious about or worried about. Let them know that if they don't want to talk to you, that there's other trusted family members they may be able to reach out to, or a therapist or a counselor. But you don't want them bottling up their questions or their feelings inside. So make sure they understand that it's okay to ask questions. They may not always get the answers they want, or you may not have the answer, but it's okay to speak to you and to ask you questions, because you want them to be able to feel comfortable, discussing how they're feeling. And that needs to be with someone who they can trust. Now, while you are telling them about the divorce, there are 4 key messages you will want to share. And I suggest starting with the one that is most important, and that is, Mom and Dad will always love you. Reassure them that Mom and Dad will always love them and be their parents. One of the biggest fears for kids during a divorce is that they will lose one or both of their parents, and that's an awful feeling. So it's important to reassure them that that's not the case. Let them know that Mom and Dad will always love them and be there for them, even though things are going to look a little different from now on. I also want to acknowledge a reality here, and that reality is sometimes kids do lose a parent due to safety, high conflict, or a lack of interest in parenting. But unless you know for sure that's going to happen, don't make those issues part of the initial conversation. Stay with the message that you love them and that both of you will be there. The second key message is explain that it's not their fault. Kids often blame themselves for their parents' divorce, and it's necessary to ensure they understand it's not their fault. Feeling the blame for your parents' divorce is not a weight that a child should carry around. The divorce is between mom and dad, and no matter what they've may said or done, they didn't cause the divorce. This might be a complicated conversation to have, but it's really an important one because you don't want your child walking around feeling that blame. You may already feel blame or regret yourself, and there's no way you'd want your child to feel like that. So really make sure that they understand that no matter what they did, no matter what they think, it isn't about them. It's an entirely adult, a mom and dad matter. The third key message you'll want to share is emphasize what will change and what will stay the same. Divorce is a big change, no doubt about it, but kids need to know that not everything will change. Mom and dad will still be there for them. They just won't be living together anymore. Try to keep as many things as consistent as possible, like school, friends, and extracurricular activities, so your kids can feel some stability during this change. If it's possible for them to continue in the same school district during the divorce process, that's a great plus. It helps keep them stable, and they don't have to worry about trying to make new friends while they're going through one of the harder times in their lives. It's also helpful if they can continue with their extracurricular activities because that provides stability and a routine that they're used to, and also gives them a chance to connect with adults they can trust and kids that they know. The final key message you'll want to share is, it may take time, but things will work out okay. Reassure your kids that while it's going to take time for things to work out, they will, and it'll all settle into a routine. And while this is all happening, both of you will be there to support and love them as you figure out the family's new normal. In the divorce world, we talk about the divorce journey and how this is a 1 to 3 year journey for the family to go through, from the time it starts to the time when things start to go back to a normal. Not the same normal, but a normal. And it's really important that you understand that it's not a process that can be rushed, but it will take time and you will get there. So now that you've talked to your kids about the divorce, you've told them that you'll be divorcing, what are some questions that they might have for you? Some common questions kids have are, who will I live with? Will I have to move? Will I have to go to a new school? Will I still get to see my friends? Can I still do my favorite activities? And what will happen to me? Again, these are the common questions kids have. And if you can prepare yourself with some answers to questions like this in case they ask, it'll really help you as you're talking to them. It'll give you confidence in what to say instead of just kind of rambling and, I don't know, we're not sure. Because again, the more truthful answers you can give them that provide stability, the better off it is for your children. It's really what's in their best interest. If you don't know the answers, again, stick with that key message of just be honest with them. Be honest that you don't know, but we're going to all figure it out together. And as soon as we do know, we will tell you. So remember, divorce is never easy, but it doesn't have to be impossible. By approaching things cautiously and keeping your kids' best interests at heart, you can help make the transition a little bit easier for them. Remember to communicate openly with your kids and to share these key messages. Mom and dad will always love you and be your parents. It's not your fault. And emphasize what will change and what will stay the same. And if you find yourself struggling, lean on your friends, your family, your therapist, or a divorce coach for support. Don't hesitate to reach out for help. The same thing if your kids. If you see your kids struggling, reach out for help for them. Your kids will thank you for it in the long run. I want to thank you for listening to this episode of Divorce Talk, and to hear more episodes, I invite you to follow Divorce Talk on Facebook. And for divorce and co-parenting support, join my Facebook group, Divorce, Co-Parenting Resources, Tips, and Support. Until next time, take care, and remember, you can find resolution through communication.